In the year 1889, hidden deep within the forested hills of Vermont, there existed an old village named Greywood Hollow, a place untouched by time, forgotten by maps. Thick grey fog forever blanketed its crooked lanes, hiding crumbling cottages and twisted trees. No birds sang here, no children played, only the dead leaves whispered across the ground. Amelia Wren, a young girl of 18, arrived at Greywood Hollow with her uncle, a historian researching ancient forgotten towns. As they stepped off the creaking wooden cart, an eerie hush fell over the villagers, gaunt figures peeking from behind cracked windows. Amelia clutched her shawl tighter around her shoulders, feeling unseen eyes tracking her every move. Inside the only inn, lit dimly by oil lamps, an old woman named Mabel Crow sat hunched near the fire. Her milky white eyes stared blankly ahead. When Amelia passed, Mabel gripped her wrist suddenly, nails digging into her skin. "You shouldn't have come, child," she rasped. "They see you now. They'll come when the fog is thickest. They wear no faces." Before Amelia could ask, Mabel's son dragged her away, muttering apologies. Amelia's heart pounded. Faceless? What could that mean? That night, Amelia lay awake on a straw mattress. The wind howled like lost souls outside. She heard them, soft footsteps padding through the fog, stopping just outside her window. Holding her breath, Amelia peered through the cracked glass. A figure stood there, cloaked in fog. No face, only smooth, pale skin where features should have been. Amelia screamed. When her uncle rushed in, there was no one outside. Only muddy footprints leading into the woods. Terrified, Amelia demanded answers. Reluctantly, her uncle confessed the village's secret. Decades ago, during a plague, the villagers prayed to dark spirits for salvation. The cure came, but at a terrible price. The fog came with it, and from it, the Faceless Ones were born. Villagers twisted by their deal, cursed to wander eternally without identity, seeking new faces to steal. And they hunted those who did not belong. Determined to break the curse, Amelia and her uncle ventured deep into the woods, searching for a forgotten altar where the villagers had sealed their fate. The forest grew unnaturally still, fog coiled around their legs. Voices called to them, "Amelia, come closer. We are waiting." They found the altar, a black stone stained with centuries of blood. But they were not alone. Faceless Ones emerged from the mist, gliding toward them, arms outstretched, mouths replaced by ragged slashes. Amelia, clutching an ancient talisman they found, recited the banishment spell. The air turned icy. The Faceless screamed without mouths, a sound like tearing fabric, shaking the ground. One by one, they began to dissolve into mist. But one, larger, stronger, lunged at Amelia. At the last moment, her uncle pushed her aside, and the entity consumed him, dragging his body into the earth. Amelia's scream echoed into the endless night. Amelia staggered back to the village at dawn, alone. The fog had thinned, but the villagers stared at her differently now. Their eyes gleamed unnaturally. Their faces shifted, slightly blurred at the edges. Mabel's whispers drifted on the breeze. No one escapes the hollow. Amelia glanced into a cracked mirror. Her reflection stared back. Without a face, Amelia stared at her blank reflection, heart pounding like a war drum. Her hands trembled as she touched her face. The skin was still there. Yet in the mirror, it was gone. Behind her, the villagers gathered slowly, their faces flickering between human and featureless voids. Mabel Crow's hoarse voice whispered again, but this time closer. You carry the hollow within you now. Amelia fled blindly through the muddy streets, the mist curling around her ankles like living fingers. She found refuge in the abandoned Hawthorne Manor, a crumbling relic on the village's edge. The massive iron doors creaked as she forced her way inside. Inside, dust choked the air. Portraits with blackened, scratched-out faces lined the halls. The manor groaned, alive with memories. As Amelia wandered deeper, she found journals, accounts of villagers pleading with unseen forces, sealing blood pacts beneath the light of a blood-red moon. The more she read, the colder the room grew. Suddenly, a handprint formed on a frosted window beside her. No body, just a wet, dripping mark. In the manor's underground chapel, Amelia found a stone altar caked with centuries of dried blood. Candles, long dead, flickered to life as she entered. Standing before the altar was a figure, dressed as a priest, robe shredded, face smooth and blank, like polished marble. The faceless priest raised a skeletal hand and pointed to Amelia. A voice filled her head, cold and thunderous. The hollow demands a vessel. You are chosen. Amelia stumbled back, but the manor itself seemed to shift. Walls elongating, doors vanishing, trapping her inside. Desperate, Amelia found an ancient ritual hidden in the torn journals. A way to resist the hollow. It required a sacrifice. Blood for freedom, but not just any blood. The blood of an innocent. Tears streaked Amelia's face. She couldn't do it. Could she? The Faceless Ones gathered outside the manor. Hundreds of them, their silent presence making the very ground tremble. And above them, the blood-red moon rose once more. Just as Amelia was about to give up, a stranger appeared. A young man named Nathaniel Crane. He claimed he was a wanderer who had survived the hollow once before. But his left hand bore deep scars in the shape of ancient runes. Nathaniel offered her another way, a forbidden ritual that could seal the hollow. But it would come at an even worse cost. You must give up your name, your memories, your very existence. Only then can you escape. The Faceless Ones began breaking into the manor, their featureless heads appearing through broken windows and splintered doors. Time was running out. Amelia had two choices: perform the blood ritual and stay human but damned, or sacrifice her identity and be free but forgotten forever. Tears streaming, she chose the second path. Nathaniel carved the ancient sigils onto her skin. Each cut burned like fire. Each symbol erased a memory. Her mother's laugh, her favorite songs, her dreams, until only a hollow shell remained. As the last sigil burned into her soul, the Faceless Ones screamed, their bodies crumbling into dust. The manor cracked apart. The village trembled. Amelia stumbled out into the morning mist, nameless and empty, but alive. The fog began to lift for the first time in centuries. The sun pierced through like a forgotten dream. But when she looked into a puddle at her feet, her reflection showed not her face, but hundreds of blurred faces shifting inside her skin, whispering.